Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good evening, my friends. I hope you have a very nice evening tonight. Here is Geraldo Lemos Neto from Portal Saber Espiritismo, and I'm here with Marco Gandra, and we are having the program To Know Spiritism. This is the number 58 program. Tonight, we are continuing to talk about the messages that Chico Xavier received and translated into English. We had several booklets like this one here that were published by the Christian Spirit Center of Elon College, North Carolina. They published those booklets in 1966, and it was the first time that the Spiritism through English reached America through the works and psychographies of Chico Xavier. This one is called Always Give Thanks, and the second message is the one that we are going to talk about. This is for Kardec Radio, BSN, and Spiritism Dissemination. The message today that we are going to see is at the act of prayer by the Spirit of Emmanuel, at the act of prayer. This is a very neat message that reaches out to our hearts and minds. It's a very special talk from the Spirit of Emmanuel. He referred to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 9, versicle 9. The saying by Jesus Christ himself, or what man is there for you, whom if his son asks bread, will give him a stone? And Emmanuel commentated, writing this at the act of prayer. In spite of the understandable imperfections of being human, an earthly father would never give a stone to his son asking for bread. But he would certainly want to consider various factors involving the requests, such as time, circumstances, need, and place. If his son were still a child, he would not let him have a stick of dynamite to play with, even though he asks for it with tears. If his son were unbalanced, he would not allow him to be head of the household just because of his earnest pledgings. If the son had delinquently dissipated their possessions several times and ruined their home, his father would not readily restitute to his care the family affairs only because he surrounds him with supplications. And in case the son persistently continued to lag behind in his studies at school, he would not extend to him limitless privileges just because of his many and moving petitions. While the Father will by no means completely take away the hopes of his offsprings. Let's repeat that. While the Father will by no means completely take away the hopes of his offspring, he will, however, for their own good, grant their pleas only after verifying the convenience and safety of the things requested. This will he do until his children should have reached the level of maturity where responsibility, merit, and capability will entitle them to the freedom to ask what they please. Such is what takes place with the earthly parents. If you, therefore, are experiencing doubts and disquietude, and you pray with tears and suffering, think of the compassion and discernment which rule the human home, and do not lose faith in the perfect and infinite mercy of the Heavenly Father. Emmanuel, through the psychography of Chico Xavier. This message, received originally in Portuguese by the medium Francisco Cândido Xavier, were translated from its original to English and published in the United States in 1966 at the Act of Prayer. This is so important for our understanding. And Emmanuel is like a teacher, a very wise teacher, a mentor, a guide, showing us the common sense of a household here on earth, the common sense that the parents act regarding to their sons and daughters. And if the common sense here on earth is a commonly thing that we see day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And the examples are clear. If a son or a daughter is just a child and asks their parents for a dynamite, of course the parents would not give them dynamites. If the sons and daughters are unbalanced, and of course they would not never allow them to rule the household. And another example that Emmanuel gives us is that if the son or daughter have acted delinquently, dissipated their possessions, Of course, the parents would never restitute money and resources to them because of their past. On the other hand, they would look after him or her and guide them to a more comprehensible approach, to a more responsible matter. And this is common sense. They would not give the family affairs to them just because they are asking to rule the household. And in the other case, if a son or a daughter have consistently continued to lag behind in their studies at school or at home, they would not extend to him or to her limitless privileges just because they asked to have them. And this is common sense. And now let's think about our pledges, our pleas, our asks to our Heavenly Father regarding our own life here on earth. What are we asking to them, to the Heavenly Father? What are we seeking? Do we deserve the attention? And do we deserve to receive all that we are asking for? Let's not complain about God, our Heavenly Father, because every time He would only give us what we can responsibly take care of. That's the message at the act of prayer. Of course, it's a comprehensive thought that we should only get what we can cope with. So, if such is what takes place with the earthly parents, more grandly, that's the way it is with God, our Heavenly Father. So let's concentrate and understand that always, and I mean always, our Heavenly Father would give us the perfect time, the perfect circumstance of life, the perfect need, and the perfect place for us to evolve, to progress, to experience, and all those things in our lives, in our homes, in our families, in our workplaces, in our nowadays life, everyday life, responsibilities, everything will be in the right place and will be received by us by the right measure. So let's understand that and do not lose our faith in God, because we don't get immediately what we ask for. And that's the message through Chico Xavier, by the Spirit of Emmanuel, that we choose to talk about today. Thank you so much for listening and participate. I hope to see you next week. when we come back with another message. Bye-bye. Have you all a very good night.